Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about at least five, possibly more, but we're going to start with 5 things that I hate about VR. So stay tuned, we'll be right back. Alright, so if you're new to VR, you're planning to get into VR, it's really important that you watch this all the way through because there are certain things about virtual reality headsets that it's probably pretty good to know about. And I will say, I love VR as in whole. Like the things that it's done for some of the games I play are just incredible. But there are certain things within a virtual reality or using virtual reality equipment that really suck. And I'm going to talk about these. So let's talk with number 1. And number 1 has to do with dirty VR lenses. So here we have my VR headset. This is the index valve. I do have another video about the index valve. If you're interested, I'll post a link to it here. My review of the index valve versus my first VR headset, which was a Samsung Odyssey. But this is specifically, this number 1 item is about dirty VR lenses. So what happens is when these lenses actually get dirty, a couple of things. First of all, it interrupts your viewing. And how do your lenses get dirty? I mean, you may accidentally touch them. You may have them too close to your eyes and you get grease or oil from your head. If you're sweating by playing a really interactive game like Beat Saber or something like that, it's gonna kind of go onto your lenses. And it really sucks. Now, I'm gonna tell you right now, there is a very specific way to clean your lenses. Most sets will come with a fiber cloth. That does work, but in a lot of cases it'll actually just smear the dirt and oil around as well. And so you really want to be careful about that. Now the other thing that you can do is, and what I did is I actually have these external lenses. You'll see here, because I wear prescription glasses, I did a video on this as well. The prescription glasses, I got a specific set of lens so that my actual lenses are well protected, right? But these ones go actually over my lenses. So that's another option as well. But you also have to be really careful when you are cleaning them. So number 2 thing I'm going to talk about is sweaty, gross, basically the part that goes against your face. And once again, this is the index valve. It has almost like a cloth type of seal around it, and this absorbs sweat. It absorbs, your perspiration. And even though you can clean it, you can't really soak it in water. You can't wash it. You have to kind of clean it with a cloth. And over time, you will start getting like this residue of grossness building up on this thing. And they're really hard to clean. Now, some of the other headsets actually have a vinyl type or a synthetic leather thing that goes around here. And obviously that's a lot easier because you can wipe it off. It makes it a lot better. The index valve does not. It has kind of that clothy one. Now, I have actually ordered for it. There's a replacement for this, and it's made out of a vinyl. I'll be reviewing that in the next couple of weeks because I should be getting it fairly soon. And then we can look and we can see that hopefully that takes care of the problem. But that's like the number 2 thing that I really don't like about VR is the skanky, sweaty, gross, whatever you want to call this thing that goes over your face. So the number 3 thing that I hate about VR is glitchy tracking. And there's 2 different types of tracking that you can use. There's inside-out tracking, which basically with inside-out tracking, there is no external light source. And what it does is it uses your surroundings to determine exactly where you are looking. And what I found about with inside tracking is I had a Samsung Odyssey. The Samsung Odyssey uses inside-out tracking. And what I found about it is sometimes it would just glitch. Like if you were flying DCS, you would be like way above the cockpit in one thing, and then maybe you would come over to the side, and it required a lot of resetting, which was kind of a pain in the butt. Especially if you're on a mission and you're doing something really important, then all of a sudden you're 10 feet outside of your cockpit, and what are you going to do, right? you have to reset it or you have to quit the game, and especially in a multiplayer environment, that really is not good. So now with the light boxes, I have experienced a lot less glitchiness in my tracking. So it's a lot better. It still can glitch out a little bit, like if you lose sight of those light boxes, then you will not track properly. You know, if you turn over here, it may go gray, or you might not be able to see something. So, you know, I personally, I think that inside-out tracking in the long term, in the future, once they improve that technology, that is probably going to be the best technology, because the light boxes aren't that great. Now, if you would like to see a video on more details about inside-out tracking and light boxes, let me know, post it in the comments below, and I will create a video about that, about how that inside-out tracking and light boxes work. Number 4 is getting that sweet spot correct. And by that sweet spot, what I mean is that the way the lenses are shaped, not every place that you're looking through the VR lenses is going to be perfect. Typically, there is a sweet spot which kind of has to be lined right up with your pupils. And that sweet spot also has to do with what's called the IPD, the distance between your eyes, right? The distance from here to here, the interpupillary distance. In my case, that interpupillary distance is really small. It's like 60 millimeters. I was going to say 60 centimeters. No, but it must be 60 millimeters, which is like 6 centimeters. And most VR headsets don't actually go that narrow. Now, the Valve Index does. It actually has a button here which you can use to change. You can see here how the lenses are coming in and out to change that. But what you have to do is you have to make sure to get that sweet spot, your eyes have to be pretty much in the center of the lenses. And what will happen is, as you're moving around, the VR headset will kind of shift up and down a little bit. And then I find that even with myself, it doesn't matter how tight I've got it. Like if I've got it tight, right, I end up having to actually move it around to get it set properly, even when I'm doing it, and tightening up and kind of loosening things. And so this is really kind of an annoying thing about VR is making sure that sweet spot stays. Now, I mean, it's a lot better than it used to be. But, and some VR headsets have better sweet spots than others, but it's definitely something that is going to require improvement in the future to really take this technology to the next level. And that is getting that sweet spot just perfect. And then the number 5 thing, which I think is going to be probably my last thing that I want to talk about, is motion sickness. And motion sickness is really a new thing for me. I typically don't get motion sick at all. When I fly DCS, which is the flight simulator, I don't have a problem with motion sickness. Now, about 2 weeks ago, I started getting into sim racing. I bought a steering wheel, which I've done a review on, the Logitech G29, and I really wanted to get into the VR racing, because I think that is like really, really cool. And I found that the first couple ones that I did, I started feeling really, really ill, which was surprising to me because I just don't ever get motion sickness. And what it really has to do, I guess, with is obviously there's a lot of bumping around, I guess, in the car racing games, and it just throws your internal stuff off. And so there are, what I've been reading about is that if you're doing it, you know, don't do it for more than a couple minutes at a time if you do start feeling motion sickness. And it is something that you should get over. And there's a couple of other things that they say you can do, like for example, ginger. You can get ginger candies, maybe eat those. Ginger is supposed to be really good about getting rid of motion sickness. And the other thing you can do is maybe try one of those bands that for seasickness. Apparently those could work. Ginger ale, maybe ginger ale will work. I'm not sure. I haven't tried that yet. But it should be something that I hope I personally get over. But right now, it's kind of really turning me off of sim racing, because the couple times I've done it, it's just like, you know, I just don't feel very good. So those are the 5 things, the top 5 things that I really don't like about VR. I hate's probably an extreme word. I don't like them. You know, like I said, I love VR in general. Now, if there's anything that you don't like about VR that you would like to share, please leave it in the comments below. And if this is your first time to the channel and you do like this content about VR and stuff, please make sure that you subscribe. Click that little notification bell. I do post videos weekly, videos tech, VR, which is a big thing, VR gaming. And yeah, if you have anything to say, please leave your comments. I do answer everybody, and I look forward to it. So until next week, thank you very much for watching, and we'll talk to you soon. Ciao.